Welcome to session 6 of The More Excellent Way. Talking about needs, isn't it very evident that more and more in the world we have groups of people out there shouting their need for exception, their need for self-actualization. More and more and more and more do we see that. This sometimes make me very scared because of the fractions of all these needs, because the basic needs have broken up in so many different needs, which is obviously part of the brokenness of the social structure in the world. Because we moved away from the very basics. We just moved away from that which life should actually be so easy, because it's actually very basic if you know the more excellent way. And I want to pause in session 6 on self-actualization. This is at the top of the pyramid in the hierarchy of Maslow's theory. And again, his theory is not the be-all and end-all. There's a lot of other theories, and I actually have studied a lot of the theories. Stick to the basics for now. On the top of this is self-actualization. Everybody knows that they have the need to express how they feel. And there's nothing wrong with that, because that is how we are made. I mean, if a baby is born and the first thing they really do when they grasp their breath is self-actualization. You hear that cry. That's the most beautiful sound for any expecting mom and dad, is to hear that cry, right? When a mother gives birth, the one thing that you will remember is the look in her eyes and the expression of pain, and sometimes the screaming of self-actualization. When the pain is so out of control and there is nothing you can do, you're not privileged to have the medical attention to do things that really manages the pain, and you just give normal birth. I was just one of those mothers when my kids were born. I said I wanted to experience it all to the teeth. Boy, oh boy. I knew I had my husband's finger at that time, and poor him, he suffered for quite a couple of days with a heavily bruised finger. Self-actualization. It's a deep, deep need that is within us, and it's actually created for a fantastic purpose. Self-actualization is actually unique to every person, and we will talk about that in the sessions to come. But I think something that I want to really just pause on for the moment is the need to be what one has the potential to become. When a baby is born, that baby has no idea what is going to become of him or her as he or she grows up. There is no guarantee. But what would be the urge of that baby to grasp the mother's breath? Okay, let's try again. To grasp the mother's breast or the bottle with milk, baby milk, and suck the life out of that bottle. As mommies, we all know it hurts sometimes, right? But that baby sucks the life out of that bottle or breast, because there's something inside that little tiny body that says, if you keep on drinking this milk, you're going to grow up to become something. He doesn't know what. She doesn't know what. But something is going to happen to me. I need that right now. The need for our potential. Every everybody listening to me today knows that ultimately there is something more to life than what you have right now. There is something more. We all have this in us. We say, I'm missing something. I'm seeking for it. I'm looking for it. I am desiring that. I need that. Oh, I wish it will come. And sometimes it is not even defined. But the need we all have to reach the potential we have to become something or somebody. There's a motivation in personality. There's a need in a musician to make music. So I make music. I play a piano, accordion, I play organ. Anything that has notes, I can help myself playing. I had no music education. That's very interesting. But if you leave me long enough to listen to a certain melody, I can play it without the music. I can sit behind the organ or the piano accordion. I can just play. I can play. It's something that comes out of, I almost want to say, out of my tummy. It's something that just comes. It's there. It's like a waterfall going the other way around. It's just coming out of me. And in my moments of brokenness and happiness, I can sit behind my piano and play my heart out. My children always said, Mom, we know exactly how you feel when you're behind the piano. Because sometimes it sounds like a thunderstorm, and sometimes it's like little soft raindrops and angels dancing. Yes. Musicians want to make music. Some cannot play out of nothing, and people study music, and that's awesome. I actually wish that I studied music more. I started, but I frustrated my music teacher, and she called my parents and she said, please take this child out of my class, because the moment I heard the melody that was on the music sheet, I would just do my own thing and add my own chords. And I think I frustrated her. After the few hits I had on my fingers, I wasn't feeling like sitting with this teacher either anymore. So both the teacher and I were actually done with each other. But my dad bought me my first piano when I was 6 years old, and that was the best thing he could have done, because I today can play literally anything in my own unique way. Artists must paint. Now, I'm in my late 50s and I still think I need to learn how to paint, but basically, I can't paint. I have a lot of friends that paint, and I see their pictures on Facebook and I'm like, oh my goodness, I wish I can paint. But I can't, and they can, and they do it so beautifully. They express themselves so lovely. I look at the picture and I'm like, artists must paint. So I have made peace with the fact that maybe I'm just not an artist. I'm not painting, but I'm playing music. And poets must write. My husband is a pilot, and the one thing he does very, very beautifully is write me poems. And I think I'm just going to sit behind the piano and make songs out of those poems. But ultimately, we all need to do what our intrinsic value gives us, to be at peace with ourselves. And right now, I do not experience peace in the world. I watch the news. I look at what's happening around the world. I look at countries, America, Iran, Iraq, Africa, Nigeria, Venezuela, Bahamas, where they had all these storms, and it's politics, and it's people are so upset with each other, and it's a whole world out there, and it's a lot of things that's happening. It's pretty scary, right? Pretty scary seeing people running for their lives. But in the end, if we look back on the basics, We all have to do what our intrinsic value, it's embedded in our hearts, in who we are. What humans can, they must be. They must be true to their nature. They need, we call self-actualization of the mere living life true to who we are within the guidelines of how we were made by the Almighty God when He, the very first few days of a dark world, decided that He wants to duplicate His image into the highest of all nature that He created is human, which He calls His image. And that is very, very powerful. This need refers to people's desire for self-fulfillment, namely the tendency for all of us to become actualized in what we are potentially. And deep down with the series of the more excellent way, this is my desire. That in the end, what I would like every listener to walk away with is to become actualized in what you are potentially. To be actualized in what you are potentially. And maybe you should just say this with me. I need to be actualized in what I am potentially. Because there is a more excellent way. And we need to find that and the application of that. And of course, after this is satisfied and the individual sees to the need of being motivated, I think what is important to remember here, if there is a distortion in the development of this need, there's a hold on the outcome. There's a hold on the outcome of who you could potentially be. And maybe that is why you are listening to me today. Just another fellow human being journeying with you on earth. Having the very same experiences that you might have in a different way. The individual that continuously seek and seek and seek and cannot find. If there was a hand withhold, as we call in psychology, some of us name it the hand withhold, when we look at a potential profile of someone, and it's the hand withhold, it's like there's a distortion in the settlement of this character. Something I want to leave you with in session 6 today is the need for self-actualization can never be satisfied. I listen to a lot of people saying, oh, I'm chasing destiny. It reminds me of somebody that's just running circles. Because ultimately, destiny is not found on earth. Purpose is found on earth. Destiny, no one of us controls our final destiny, which is death. We're all going to go to a grave at some point in life, determined by a higher hand. Some people die at the hands of others, seemingly so early, so wrong. Yes, that is true. We have a lot of that in the developing countries where we come from. There's a lot of people dying, shooting, killing. But in the end, you and I do not control destiny. And I know there's a lot of people that's going to say to me, you have no idea what you're talking about. Let me tell you, if we could control destiny, I would have been there already. Because if I can determine destiny, I'll find it and I'll go for it. Destiny is not found on earth. Purpose is found on earth. Because life on earth is just, as we said in the beginning of our series, in the More Excellent Way, we said to each other, if you're lucky and you're healthy and God blesses you, you can grow old. 80, maybe 90, maybe a few go 100, 105, maybe 110. I don't know if anybody in our lifetime grew older than that. But most of us, by the 85s, the 89s, we are no more. And then destiny hits, right? I really would want to look back on my life when I reached that point, or any point in my life, where I would be able to say, I might not have reached my destiny, but I've lived my purpose. Doesn't that make you feel... I think you should take just a deep breath with me. It's not so important that you find your destiny, but it's very important that you find your purpose and that you enjoy the journey in finding your purpose and living your purpose. Ultimately, the stimulation we all need is to learn, to grow, and to reach our full potential within our purpose. One would wonder why and where in creation all these needs originated from. And I'm going to end the session right here. And in the next session, we will talk about that. Where did this come from? Why is it that some people are seeking their entire life, they just never... Some people, they marry the one person and then they find, oh, this wasn't for me, and they go marry the next and the next and the next. I'm not talking about people that goes through traumatic divorces or death of a partner, maybe once, maybe twice. That happens. But I have found many people seeking and just never find. Where does this come from? In the next session of The More Excellent Way, we're going to talk about exactly that. I hope to see you there.